Hi guys, this is AC Gamer back with another video on Nikke Goddess of Victory. Now in today's video what I'm going to be doing is talking about the several bugs we have in the game. So every single day we find out new bugs in the game, and to be honest the list of bugs keep piling on and on. To be honest, the bugs are also game breaking because it affects your gameplay. Your characters can deal less damage, your characters can deal more damage, and the new bug we found today just puts the icing on top, which I will talk about later on in the video. But before I continue with the video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, stay tuned for more content on Nikke Goddess of Victory. I will have a link in the comment section and in the description of the video for those people who actually want to play Nikke Goddess of Victory on the PC. I will recommend BlueStacks. There is no lag. I have great frame rates on it as well. So go ahead and click my affiliate link. That's just a quick promo for myself. But anyways, let's get right into the video. Now, the amount of bugs we keep getting keep piling on. Now, there is a list of bugs. This is not comprehensive because the bugs get updated every single day in terms of whether it's fixed, whether it's still being here. So if you go over to pridewin.co, you can see all the bugs affecting certain characters, and that actually can affect whether they deal extra damage or whether they actually are useful. One character that's actually suffering from this bug is Ludmilla, just because the bug actually affects her taunting capability, making her quite useless in game. So that's one like game breaking bug. There's other bugs affecting certain characters that can do extra damage and all of that stuff, but that is actually game breaking because if you pull a character, they're meant to work a certain way. If they're not working this way and it's affecting your gameplay, affecting how much you can progress in game, then it is pretty detrimental. However, I will say this, the bug isn't really felt too much just because there is already a system in the game that already affects your gameplay or your progression, which is the debuff or the nerf that happens to you if you don't get the recommended power. So everyone is just trying to push through the recommended power, and I do believe as long as you push through the recommended power, you should still be able to clear every single content as long as you're over the recommended power. Now that might just be because I have Scarlet or I have Aaron who are two amazing characters, but I do feel like as long as you pass the recommended power, you should be good. Now the bugs in the game though that affects characters damage and making them do less damage is pretty detrimental. Now the latest bug we found out is the fact that your burst skill actually doesn't get leveled up. So if you go over to your character, the character you've leveled up their skills, so you have my character over here, this is Scarlet. As you can see, her burst skill is at level 4. However, what we have actually noticed is that in game, when you're playing it with this character, the burst skill is actually not at level 4, it's still at level 1. This means you're basically losing out on so much damage and you're losing out on buffs as well. So for example, Scarlet over here, the amount of damage she does increases as you level her up. You're losing out on the damage, you're losing out on the buff you give yourself. Now more importantly, if you go over to Litter, if you go over to her burst skill, which I did level up, the buff she gives your allies, so as you can see, is increased to 46%. I do believe it starts off like 30%, and I did level this up to level 4. But if I do take her in game, the buff she gives me will still be at level 1, which once again, you're losing out on damage. You won't really notice this really in the campaign because obviously, like I said, as long as you pass the recommended power, you should be good. However, one content where you will actually feel this is obviously inside Interception, because Interception is where you're farming your gear. There's no recommended power, so as long as your characters are strong and dealing good amounts of damage, you should be good. However, if your damage is being limited because of the bug affecting the burst skill, it means you won't be able to push harder, and it will take you a lot harder or a longer investment in your characters before you can actually deal enough damage to pass or completely finish the level D Interception. Once again, that is pretty detrimental. It is pretty game breaking for some reason, I don't know, but the game is pretty much filled with insane amounts of bugs. Now if you guys want to see a comprehensive list, I will link to other places as well. pridewin.co has the list of bugs affecting characters, and on the Reddit for Nikke Mobile, there is also a list, and it looks like it does get updated every single time because it looks like some of the bugs have been cancelled out, meaning it has been fixed. But right now the amount of bugs in game is 15 pretty game breaking bug, and yeah, it's insane. Burst skill, where else is there? Healer burst skill doesn't increase in heals will level up. These are new bugs we've noticed today. 3 new bugs we've actually found. Ludmilla's provoke has no effect at all, so her taunt is useless. Maiden, Pepper's second skill recovery amount is always just stacked or counted as stack 1. Sugars increase. Yeah, we already know about characters getting nerfed. So if you guys are wondering why this is important to note, well, it's just because it doesn't feel premium enough. Now, I'm not going to go on a witch hunt to try and cancel Nikke Goddess of Victory. I'm enjoying the game, but I don't really think, okay, like I said, the bug, you only really feel it in game modes where recommended power isn't a thing. And obviously, if you're trying to cheese through content as well, you're less likely to do this now because of the burst skill bug. But I do feel like this bugs, the amount of bugs that keep stacking on, is unacceptable, obviously. Now, to be honest, in most games, wherever there's a bug, the community is always out to get for a manhunt or whatever. Take a look at Tower of Fantasy. The amount of bugs were happening in the game, no one was happy about it. Everyone was fed up, and now the player base keeps dropping over and over again. But for what I can see with Nikke, I don't think the player base are too worried about the bugs, which is kind of surprising in my opinion. Now with me, I actually, yeah, how do I say this? So I technically already feel weak, so even with the bugs affecting certain characters, making them weak, I don't feel that weak at all. And maybe it's also because I don't have those characters that are currently bugged out at the moment. In fact, my other account with Haran has the better bug because it makes her deal extra damage. However, it looks like they might have actually fixed that. I'm not really too sure, but my Haran still deals huge amounts of damage. But I hope all these bugs that is, plaguing the game does get fixed, and I do hope there is great compensation. I mean, I'm already happy with the compensation being given out to us already, with the amount of summons given out, but I still think with the amount of bugs in the game, giving us more free-to-play resources would be great, especially because getting gems in this game is a lot harder than most other gacha games, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys are free-to-play players and you've saved up 21k, you might be happy with that, but let's say a new banner comes out, you use all the 21k, how easy is it for you guys to gain back that amount of resources used? It's quite low. That's technically the only issue I have in the game, which is the amount of gems you get. So the bugs right now, I'm not saying it's not a big deal. It's definitely a big deal. It's something I don't really notice too much, but obviously it would be great if all of it is fixed. Now tell me down in the comment section what you guys would like for the devs to do. Obviously you guys would like them to fix the bug. Now moving forward, I do hope that there is no other bugs being shown in the game, because it would definitely start to getting irritating if more bugs keeps getting discovered and we still get no compensation or something like that. That would definitely be a big deal. Anyways, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, stay tuned for more content on Nikke Goddess of Victory. It's been your boy AC Gamer, and I'm out.